Café and Networking Podcast promotes entrepreneurs, business experts throughout the world. I'm Tom Reaoch, known as the King of Networking, podcasting, connecting people from my studio in Brazil. Today we talk with Patty Block, and she's joining us from Houston, Texas. Patty Block turns roadblocks into building blocks for women-owned businesses. She teaches women business owners, experts in their fields, how to turn up their power to price, sell, and run their business on their own terms. Patty is founder and president of the Block Group. So Patty, you've literally been around the block many times. So what is the biggest challenge women business owners still face?
In my view, it's undervaluing ourselves and underpricing. And I work with women business owners who are experts in their fields, often technical experts like accountants, attorneys, engineers, and marketing and PR professionals. And that is a huge challenge because often they have come out of corporate and they still believe in the hourly billing model. And yet they're providing a transformational service and they're pricing in a transactional way. And that's a disconnect for them. It means that their company is less profitable, and it's a disconnect for their buyer as well. So I help women business owners realign their thinking and the mechanics of building their pricing model, understanding how to guide their buyers, where to find their buyers, and to be much more successful in how they bring in revenue.
Well, that happens everywhere in the world. It's not only for women. Even here in Brazil, many people, when you start out offering services, the first thing they say, well, you're too expensive.
Yes, and women face special challenges. So when I was growing up, my mom made the most fabulous cookies. The whole house smelled good. It was warm. The cookies were gooey. And all my life, I watched my mom eat the broken cookies. But it wasn't until I was a teenager that I even thought to ask her, why do you only eat the broken cookies? Do they taste better? And she laughed and said, no, I eat the broken cookies so you can have the whole ones. And not too long ago, I saw this really shocking statistic. 62% of women rely on their business for their primary income. And 88% of women business owners make less than $100,000 a year. And all of a sudden, this image of my mom eating the broken cookies popped in my head. And this is a pattern I had seen since I founded my company in 2006, that as women, we undervalue ourselves, we underprice our services, and then we overdeliver. And that is creating a self-imposed glass ceiling in our businesses. It's what I call the broken cookie effect. And my mission has become bringing this to women's awareness, helping them think differently, operate differently, and run their business on their own terms. Whatever that means to them, I help them discover what that means to them. So challenges for women are different than they are for men. And it is a challenge to figure out how to price in a way that conveys value.
Well, I've seen and I follow many different women executive groups, entrepreneur groups, and specifically in the States, there are many networking groups and business groups just for women.
Yes. And part of that too is I think it's gotten somewhat more equitable over the years where men are very involved with their families. And I've raised 3 kids as a single mom, and 2 of those kids are sons. So this isn't about in any way male bashing but I know that my work with women, I make a bigger impact when I focus on the challenges that women face in how we've been conditioned, what we believe, and how we operate our businesses.
Well, I think that is a challenge because obviously I'm a man, and I have to say, sometimes it's difficult for me as a man to help women.
Yes.
Because I have my bias. I don't say that's natural, but that's the way it is.
Well, we all have bias. And I will say, bringing a self-imposed glass ceiling into your business is a bias where you don't even realize you're doing it. That's part of the issue of the broken cookie effect as well, we don't recognize that we're bringing that spirit of self-sacrifice into our business. And all of those things kind of conspire to keep our businesses artificially small and very limited in terms of profit.
Well, that's a good point, because when we talk about scaling, and we're saying sustainability today is the word, but it really comes back to survivability. And what I've seen here in Brazil specifically, many women who are trying to get into business, they're doing it to survive, literally. So you're talking about $100,000 in the States. That's a dream here in Brazil. And many of them many businesses here are women operated. They're single parents, maybe like yourself, and they have extra challenges, and that's literally survival.
Yes. And it is, of course, becoming increasingly problematic with inflation and a possible recession in the United States and a lot of financial challenges. Mm-hmm. So we always have financial challenges. There's never been a time in history where we haven't had that.
Well, that's true. That's true.
But there are things that are causing additional problems. And most of my clients are in the U.S. Mm-hmm. And we see a lot of problems in our society and in the business community in terms of how we go about building our businesses and what the outcome is, whether we want to sell our business eventually, or if we're building more of a lifestyle business that we may not be able to sell. So that is another dynamic that I work with.
And that's an important point, because I think, and many people should be interested in valuing, making their company valuable to be purchased by others. And that's back to your mother's broken cookie. But there are people who want to buy broken companies, but that's a fire sale effect. You should want to sell your company as a full cookie.
Absolutely. You said it so eloquently, that there's no reason we need to settle for the broken cookies. Mm-hmm. You really can have the whole cookie.
And make more of them.
Absolutely.
And today, as you do, it's not just selling a cookie. It's sharing the recipe for the cookies as you do so professionally and so well.
Thank you. Yes. And that is my mission, is to empower women business owners, bring this to their awareness so that they understand there are different ways of doing this. Mm-hmm. And when I say running your business your way,
right, there
is no cookie cutter right way to run a business. Mm-hmm. There's only your right way. And that's what I teach.
Well, Patty, and that message goes to the world. That's not a U.S.-centric thing, and women throughout the world have the same roadblocks. So where can our audience find you?
Theblockgroup.net, theblockgroup.net is my website. And I also have a free quiz. It's called My Revenue Roadblocks. Mm-hmm. And by taking the quiz, which you'll see on my website, you can determine what roadblocks are in your way in terms of generating more revenue. And the way I think of it is, I want to help you generate more revenue with less stress. And that is what the quiz does as a first step. It helps you identify what's in your way.
Fantastic. So it's not just making the full good cookie, it's getting value back for that cookie.
Exactly.
Very good. Well, Patty, thank you for sharing your time and attention with us today.
Thank you.
And for our audience, remember, it's Patty Block, Patty, the last name Block. You'll find her on LinkedIn and also theblockgroup.net, where you'll find her My Revenue Roadblocks quiz to help you through. Café and Networking is brought to us by Focus MI Market Intelligence, an agricultural market research specialist in Brazil. More information on their website, focusmi.com. Thanks for listening until the next time here at Café and Networking Podcast.